welcome everyone. First question to everybody. How many here are self-proclaimed foodies? Put your hands up. I'm a self-proclaimed foodie. Put your hand. I love it. Amazing. All right. How many of y'all are focused on nutrition? You know, you watch whatever's coming on your plate, etc. Put your hands up. It's not bad. We got about like a 50-50 bunch here. Amazing. All right. So today we're going to have a fantastic discussion on understanding holistic nutrition and our energy system. And I want to start off this discussion by first telling everyone and welcoming everyone to the panel. But more importantly, don't wait for me to ask you a question. If you find a point from somebody, say, okay, you know, I want to add to this, just pick up the mic, start talking, let's make it a fun discussion. First question to you, Claudia, okay? The first thing is that, you know, I was looking at old pictures of Bombay, you know, like from the 1960s, 70s, and I saw only lean, fit-looking people in these pictures. And I was like, matlab, what's happening now? Is there like obesity taking place? Why is so much of a change taking place in today's pictures? So Claudia, what do you feel has happened in India from an obesity point of view, and what are things that we can start doing to start changing this around?
It's a very interesting question. So, you know, when I came to Mumbai for the first time, it was like almost 15 years back. The size 0 was really trending. Do you remember that time, that era? Where, you know, models were really slim, that they hardly survived on a little bit of food. And they were actually worried and scared of eating. So I have also published my book called Keep Eating, Keep Losing. Why? To just address this issue that in order to lose weight or look healthy, you have to also eat food. You cannot be starving. So I think that was the era where a lot of size 0 was trending. Whereas right now, I am very, very proud to say that the awareness really spread a lot ever since. Whereas people right now are concentrating, you know, on being healthy. Healthy as in, you know, they understand the micro and micronutrients. They understand how to eat healthy, how to eat better, to feel better. And also like, of course, we at Claudia's Concept, we are believing in lifestyle coaching, like healthy lifestyle, you know, whereas it is based on 4 pillars. That's balanced nutrition, physical activity, emotional well-being, and adequate sleep. All the 4 pillars are very intimately interconnected, and we have to take care of 360-degree in order to be healthy. And I think right now people are more and more aware about that, and that's the biggest change which I have spotted.
So you've noticed the trend towards getting healthier and healthier and healthier as well. Amazing, that's fantastic. Shivohaam, you know, when we talk about nutrition, right, like what according to you is one of the most important macronutrients? I remember we were talking about protein. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think that's something that we don't really know too much about.
So I definitely think that protein is something that we need to prioritize. And people have a certain misconception about protein. So let's clear that. We've all read in school and books, protein is the building blocks of life. But what is protein? Protein is basically when it goes into your system, it gets broken down into something called as amino acids. People who go to the gym must have at some point consumed BCAAs, essential amino acids. So amino acids is literally the building blocks of protein. So when protein goes in, it gets broken down. Now, amino acids are basically of 20 types. There are 9 essential. Essential means something which the body does not produce itself. It needs to be taken from nutrition, from food. I don't like using the word diet, so I like to use the word food. And then there are 11 non-essential. Non-essential are the ones that the body anyways produces. They say that you can literally, in the worst case scenario, survive without carbs and fat, but you cannot survive without amino acids. Because these amino acids, the 9 essential amino acids, they're literally responsible from everything from your immunity, your inflammation markers, for your mood swings, your dopamine, your serotonin, your testosterone, all the other hormones, your muscle protein synthesis, for energy metabolism, literally for everything. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, animal products or the protein is called a complete protein. Why? Because animal products have all the proteins, all the 9 essential amino acids in them, which is an amazing thing. So vegetarians, vegans don't have to feel bad about it. They have to work a little bit harder because amino acids do exist in plant foods also, but they're not complete protein. In order for you to get all these 9 essential amino acids, luckily, being an Indian and the kind of food we eat, rajma, chawal, dahi, complete protein. So the point being, you have to consume combinations of all the plant foods together. Now the problem over here becomes legumes, beans, lentils, they all have protein, but a very small amount. Now if you are a vegetarian and you need to consume a certain amount of protein in a day, it's impossible to get it through only plant food. Because if I tell you you need to consume minimum 30 grams of protein from, say, rajma or sprouts, you can, but you will have to have a massive bowl of sprouts. You might not finish it, you might get stomach indigestion, but somehow you'll consume your protein. Now you can't do that on a day-to-day basis. That's why for vegetarians, for vegans, that's a topic for another time. For vegetarians, milk products help a lot. Dahi, paneer, Greek yogurt, milk, it's amazing. You don't have to worry about being lactose intolerant. Yes, there are very few cases of people who are born lactose intolerant. But just think about it, 30 years down the line, suddenly you wake up one morning, like, oh my God, I'm lactose intolerant. How did that happen? There are other factors that play into it. But point being, if you're vegetarian, you can still get your protein, but please, if you're training, if you're doing some kind of physical activity, even if you're not, try to get your protein through your protein powders or whatever, because that way we're not being deficit in the amino acids. Again, let's not talk about protein, but literally think about it from the amino acids perspective. And that is why I feel, and I think, in my perspective, I could be wrong, that protein is definitely a macronutrient that needs to be prioritized in everybody's meal.
Amazing. Of course, please.
I would like to add something because it's such an interesting topic and you explained that so well. But I would like to add that the Indian Market Research Bureau in 2022 came up with a report that saying that protein deficiency in India is 80%, which is really high, and it was shocking for me to even know about that. And definitely protein is something we have to concentrate on much more. However, for the vegetarian, I think he was mostly particularly also talking for the perspective of training, if people really want to build up a lot of muscles. Let's talk also about the fact that, on average, for a normal person, 0.8 to up to around 1 gram of protein per kg per person per day is required. So if you are 60 kg, for example, you require 60 gram of protein, a very easy, normal, on average calculation, right? So let's say if you divide it into 3 meals, so it's around 20 gram of protein minimum, which you have to have just to live a normal life. Forget about building muscles because that's a different game altogether. So from vegetarian food, he was so right saying that you need to combine the different foods. For example, legumes, all the pulses, they are high in lysins. Whereas cereals are very low in lysins, but if you have it combined together, you already have a complete protein. There is no third thing you really need. So even rajma chawal, or even for the matter of fact, whole wheat bread with peanut butter, that also will be a combination which will give you a complete protein. So now the only point is for the masses and for vegetarian and vegan people, they have to consume a complete meal, whereas grains, legumes, and of course vegetarian for the nutrients are also, it should be combined together. Dahi, great. But it is possible.
I think everyone needs to focus on this.
Yeah, it should.
Thing.
It's 80% of deficiency. It's huge,
it's
and
crazy.
we have a great platform today to spread the awareness and talk about it. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I think we should.
Thank you.
I just want to add one thing. I think these days people, they have a misconception of replacing their healthy diet with supplements, taking protein from supplements only. I think it's a myth, I guess, because you should have a balanced diet, as everyone said. I completely agree with them. So I think more of we should use natural diet as much as can. Then supplements can complement your healthy diet. I think it should be like this. Otherwise, I think we should not go completely into supplements these days. Try to use as much as natural products, how much we can like manage around. So,
Amazing. You know, the reason why I asked you all about the foodie question in the beginning was that we have a foodie here with us. So when I spoke to Ayesha, Ayesha said, listen, all this nutrition stuff I don't know, but I'm a big foodie. So I said, fantastic. Share your ideas of foodie and being in this fitness space. What does that look like? So Ayesha, when you're a foodie, are there things that you will not eat? Are there things that you'll focus on, but not give up on the foodiness of you?
I'm on the wrong panel, guys. I thought this was a sports exercise sort of conversation.
Yeah, it's about chewing exercises. So tell me something.
There's a bowl of sugar in front of me, so you know where my eyes are going.
You're sweet. So how do you focus on your food? Do you just eat everything, or how do you plan it out at all?
Actually, I was a very reckless athlete when I was young, and we had very little to no information about food, which we thought was okay because, you know, having a cheese sandwich before a race seemed like a healthy thing, or having banana and milk before a race seemed like a healthy thing, but it actually wasn't. But it was what was available then. Very grateful that at least we had food on the table, even during competition. There was no fuss about what you should eat, shouldn't eat. Everything had to be eaten, what was on the table again. It's only as we started going abroad for training, started understanding why certain athletes are performing better because they're eating the right kind of foods at the right time, which is helping them recover better, injure them less. Of course, many other factors come along with food, but my understanding and growth with food is a continuous process. I am a Parsi, so nobody dare tell me that you have to eat veg. You know, if it's not the mutton dhansak on a Sunday, then we are not friends, or the family is going to have a fight. So that is really important for us. Meats, I totally agree with what Shivohaam said. You know, there's so much today, there's so much talk about food. It's so overwhelming, it's so confusing. People have just forgotten what they used to eat when they were young, you know. People ask me all these questions, oh, you look a certain way, you must be burning it out. Not true, you know, certain foods don't help you perform better, certain foods don't give you the toning and the muscle strength. So yes, while it's important to be educated and smart about what you're eating, it's also important to enjoy your food. Don't give up on what you enjoy. You have one life, please have a blast.
Foodies, daba ke khao. All right, amazing, love it. Dr. Pandey, you know, we were talking on the phone preparing for this panel, and you were talking about energy and hydration, right? The second part of our discussion today is energy. Can you tell us a little bit about hydration and energy and how you approach this?
Yeah. So normally our body should be, you know, 80% alkaline and 20% acidic. Simple. And since now our diet is so, you know, sometimes what the food normally, since here lots of nutritionists are there and lots of foodie people are there and lots of very much aware people are there. So normally the type of food we are eating outside, it's completely imbalanced. The system, because we are not growing the things, so everything is almost adulterated. This water is very good, but when we are drinking from the tap, that is also chemicalized because of the cleanliness. They put some chlorine, this and that, lots of things, which is normally body sometimes agreeing or not agreeing. It happens many things we are seeing. So energy imbalance is when you are not able to digest the thing, whatever it is, whether it's good, very good, or sometimes bad. People are coming to me and they are saying they are eating all the food from the farmer's market, but still body is not agreeing with that. So it's subjective body to body. So what we have to do, we have to first understand our requirement of the body, the way we are living our life, the way we are exercising, the way we are even sleeping and getting up in the morning. Because हमारे नेचुरोपैथी में कहते हैं कि सुबह शाम की हवा लाख रुपए की दवा. You know, so it's actually completely gone from our system. We are sleeping in the night by 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. o'clock in the morning, like almost morning, and then getting up in the morning 8, 9, 10, whatever. So the thing is not getting assimilated whatever we are eating because of the food cycle, because of the energy cycle. We should start our food or breakfast from 7 to 9 because that time is something we call it stomach energy is high. And then slowly when sun is rising, like till 1 o'clock we should finish our lunch. That is, very much known. But sometime our food is always delayed 2:30, 3 o'clock. Even sometime I am doing the same. So acidic reactions are very much high in the body. And alkalinity is becoming low. So you see lots of people are dying very, very younger age, maybe some other reactions or there were some time we say like because of lots of vaccination and all. But still, acidity and alkalinity imbalance is killing us. So it's it's not balanced in a proper way, it's going to give us lots of problem. You see, if we are not exercising, you're getting cholesterol, triglyceride, even doing everything. Now you will see lots of liver-related cases. Every 3 to 4 patients or 2 to 3 people are suffering from the liver, fatty liver, grade 1, grade 2, grade 3, then it's going to convert into a problem. Since liver is the second largest organ of our body, if that organ is not getting proper energy or proper nutrition or proper exercises and not aware about what we are eating, because now we are eating because of our tongue test. We'll eat outside, we'll opt of all the pizza, burgers. We talk like Shivohaam said that, veganism and then protein things. Sometimes our body is going to agree with everything the way we are living the life. You see on the road, people are working 8 to 10 hours with the hammers and they can eat anything, they can digest anything. So their emotional mental quotient is stronger than us. Because half of the problem many a time it's our emotions. So energy become lesser and digestive system is becoming wrong. So first we need to understand our requirement of the body and we need to read all the time what body can assimilate and digest properly. So energy enhances automatically.
So by focusing on these aspects and balancing the acidity and the alkalinity, is that what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Navneet, as an actor, I'm sure you must be going through different body changes, right? This role needs this, that role needs that. How do you manage this whole holistic nutrition and all when it comes to something like this? How do you change your lifestyle? And as a habit coach, I want to know, how do you change your habits for something like this to take place?
Sometimes it's a roller coaster of nutrition that this time you are preparing for something which the role requires a leaner body, for example, a muscular. Then I'm more focusing on high protein diet, a lot of vegetable, then fiber, then complex carbs. I'm basically from Haryana, so मुझे खाना बहुत ज़्यादा पसंद है, especially North Indian food. I just love to, yeah, exactly. So that kind of food, I think that contains like a good mix of micronutrients, vitamins, minerals, and fiber. So I basically, try to focus on like those aspects. But in day-to-day life, I love my North Indian food. I can't live without. But for example, like second example, if you take, like if we are preparing for something which is like, which roles needs more endurance, so I'm more focusing on carbohydrate so that will keep boosting my energy all the time. I keep hydrating my body, I keep having fruits in between meals. So yeah, this is the normal process I take, but in normal to day-to-day life, I feel that everyone should not go through an extreme eating habits that you just start leaving food, you start not eating properly. I think for a day-to-day life, normal life, I think a balanced diet should be very, very important.
Amazing. I want to take this to Shivohaam because, Shivohaam, when you're doing these intense workouts, right? Like I've seen on Instagram, I've seen all the people that you train and they're doing this intense workout. Are they as intense with their food as well? Do they need to be? What is the balance between the workouts and the food, the nutrition that they have?
I think the first thing we need to ask is who are we talking about and what is their goal? Like even when I train any actor and whenever I'm training a celebrity for a body transformation as well, I was the first one to bring CrossFit to India. Now CrossFit is a very intense sport, super, super intense. I've been doing that since the age of almost 23, but I don't do it now. I don't require it. My body, we have to accept the fact that we are getting old. We're not getting any younger. But at the same time, there are ways in which we can get the same goal doing easier stuff. When I'm saying easier stuff, the hard work is still there. The discipline is still there. But I don't think in the last maybe 4 or 5 years, or even when I was training Ranbir for Tu Juti Memakar and Animal, in the 3 years, we even did one burpee. The world thinks burpee is like a magical exercise. Technically, it's not. Yes, it was great when we got introduced to it, but why do we need to do burpees? Why do we need to push our body or put our body beyond a certain intensity when it is not our goal? We're not Olympic athletes. We're not actually competing. Our goal is to look a certain way. And as a default, when you train a certain way, when you eat a certain way, when you sleep a certain way, when you have all the right habits, including the mind, the pranayams and everything, you'll automatically feel good. Your performance will be great. So you don't have to train like an athlete to feel good. There are other ways of doing this. So people need to understand, and I swear till today when I go to the gym, I see people killing themselves in the workout. Box jumps. I mean, somewhere or the other your knees are going to give up. You don't need to do it, but unfortunately they don't know if there is another way that they can achieve the same thing. What they are, I think, trying to achieve is that weird high, which they call a high, but you can get that with a normal workout. Somewhere things need to settle down, and they can only start settling down in the mind, and then they can reflect in the body. So once people understand that I can achieve something by doing hard work, but easier work, it's possible. So it's my job as a coach, even when I run my online programs with all my clients, to tell them that you don't have to always train to kill yourself. If you finish your workout and you say, oh, today's workout, I'm dead, well, you clearly did something wrong. You need to get out of the gym feeling good, not dead. Yeah, when we were 20, again, this is all lack of knowledge. When we did, again, CrossFit is a sport today, it's an international sport, there's a lot of money involved in it, and somewhere you have to kill yourself for it. Okay. But then you've got a team of physios, masseuse, doctors, nutritionists, I mean, you name it, they've got an entourage of everything to look after you. We don't. We don't roam around with our masseuse therapists and our nutritionists everywhere. We work out, we go to the gym, we come back, we look after, we have a family to look after. So
for our normal lives, you don't need that
intensity.
Don't.
And you can still do what is needed and feel absolutely amazing.
You know, it's so interesting that you're saying this. Like, I just turned 40, so I just missed the 40 under 40, unfortunately. But, and as soon as I turned 40, I realized my body was not responding as well as it was a few years ago. And I was like,
I'll give you my number later.
You can come on my podcast, we'll do one together. Fantastic. We're almost out of time. Thank you so much for coming and joining us on the panel.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. I hope you'll have learned something, how we're going to change our holistic nutrition and our energy going forward. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.